You ready?
Mike, call me in order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. The mics are really working tonight, aren't they? Everybody in the back here easily? Yeah? Too much? Okay, good. Tonight, revocation will be given by Pastor Jim Littleton from the Holly Springs United Methodist Church. Pastor, there you are. Good to see you again. You're on, partner. I always say he's one of my favorite pastors, and the reason I can't say favorite is because Forrest Ferguson won everyone. Some of us know that story.
Yeah. Hey, man, thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the invitation, Mayor and Council, to be here tonight. May we pray. Hey, God of grace and mercy, we give thanks for the changes and seasons you give us, God. We give thanks for the season of winter and Advent as we prepare for Christmas. We give thanks for the changes, God, that you give upon us, the changes that bring growth and newness in life. God, tonight we also come for a change in leadership on this transition night. We give thanks so much for the great service of Sherry Lee and Tom O'Brien. We give thanks for their service to this community, the time they spend away for their families, God, helping our community be the best it can be. We also give thanks, God, for Aaron Wolf and Sean McGrath and for the new leadership they're bringing to our town. We ask that you bless them, and we give thanks for their service as well. God, for our elected officials, we just pray for your grace to work in them, for the gifts of wisdom and discernment, for the gifts of courage and compassion. God, we ask that Holly Springs continues to be a place of peace. God, we know the expression goes, let there be peace on earth, and may it begin with me. And God, I just pray it begins with all of us as we make Holly Springs just a place of peace and prosperity for all its citizens. God, we give thanks for our first responders. We ask your blessings and safety be upon them. We give thanks for our schools, and may they be great, safe places of learning. In all things, God, we just give thanks to you and praise you. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Well done, Pastor. Item number 4, just approval of December 3rd meeting agenda, Mayor Pro Tem.
Motion to adopt the December 3rd, 2019 meeting with no changes.
Second.
Motion been made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Number 5 is a public comment period. The purpose of this is to listen to public feedback, suggestions, and requests. Speakers should not accept or not expect council action or deliberation on subject matter brought up during the public comment period. Topics that the mayor and the council wish to receive additional information on may be referred to the town manager or other appropriate town staff to follow up, and yes, we do. Please keep these comments at 3 minutes. Thank you for your consideration and understanding. And I will open up public hearing, call Catherine Dunn. You gotta come to the podium.
Yep.
And if you would, repeat your name and address, please. Oh, no, over there. You gotta do it in the mic. We'll get there.
Okay, Catherine Dunn, 5205 Lake Edge Drive, Holly Springs.
Hi, hey. Go ahead and speak. Oh, yeah, you're on.
Okay. In an effort to both continue our reputation as one of the safest communities in our state and to proactively avoid traffic speeding incidents like the recent death of a caring neighbor being struck when taking out our garbage, we're calling on our town's resources to take control of our neighborhood streets. We come tonight not just as a voice of concern, but to extend our help to our town council as they research ways to combat this issue and make the streets of Holly Springs the safest in our country. Tonight, I belong to Sunset Ridge, but we have reached out to neighborhoods across Holly Springs, and the folks wearing black in the room tonight are wearing the color because this will be the color we'll be wearing at our neighbor's funeral if we don't stop the unsafe speeding in our streets. So thank you for being here to support us. We have 2 main ideas to share. The first idea involves slowing traffic on popular cut-through routes made known by Waze, Google Maps, and other GPS apps, and by those drivers knowingly cutting through in order to avoid congested traffic lights. We propose the addition of 3- and 4-way stop signs at all intersections within the neighborhoods in Holly Springs. With the addition of these stops, the ETA of these shortcuts will lengthen and discourage cut-through drivers, or at least slow their speed as they drive through. Our second idea involves the always unpopular speed bump. Please know we've heard many of the concerns and have a potential solution. We propose that you only create a bump on the outgoing side of the road, but create a painted line across the whole street to create the effect that the bump goes across the whole street with the addition of the slow bump sign. This way, fire trucks entering a neighborhood at a high speed are not affected. There is another version of the speed hump where grooves are slotted at the distance of the tire spacing for emergency vehicles, which allows them to pass unaffected, but cars will be forced to slow their speed. Our attendance today is the tip of an iceberg, as we are committed to attending all future council meetings until a resolution has been determined and put into motion. We're invested in seeing a real resolution. Please know we are here to support our town council in your efforts moving forward, but no more excuses, no more comparisons to other towns. We are Holly Springs, and we are safer than this. And if you have any stories to share, I know we have a remaining few seconds probably, we have some personal experiences.
Anybody wish to speak?
Yes.
Well, we need to have you come to the mic,
Marcy, yes.
please. While you're coming to the mic, this is something we've been working on, for years. And I said, matter of fact, I think I said at the last meeting, that if I had the way to solve this permanently, I would be a millionaire, because I'd sell it to every other town that has the same problem. We do have the problem. My sympathies are with you. So when you're done, I have asked our chief of police to meet with whoever you brought tonight outside and talk more. What's wrong? Okay? Go ahead, I'm sorry. Name and address.
Oh, I was just going to say, I live at the bottom of Salem Ridge. If you come to the bottom of the hill, people fly down there. I feel like it's probably people that live there, but as well people that from other neighborhoods that are, using our street to avoid going by the school. I also see delivery trucks going very fast. Service vehicles, all kinds of things like that. And the police have I've seen numerous times pulled over in front of our house, several different vehicles. So I know it's a problem, and
We'll attempt to mitigate it. What I'm trying to say is, I or no one else can promise this is going to solve the problem, but we can continue to try to make it much, much better. And it's true. So, Chief, are you willing to do? Okay. Whoever came for this subject of speeding, would you please follow the nice two ladies and the chief, and they're going to go out in the back and talk more, okay?
Yep.
But thank you.
Thanks, Marcy.
Thank you
Thanks.
for coming.
All right. At this point in time, I'll close the public hearing and wait for just a second. All right, thank you. Thank you, Chief. All right, agenda item 6A, consent agenda. Mayor Pro Tem.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item, hang on a sec. 7A, this is public hearing, Pimento Tea Room Downtown Development Investment BDI request. And Irina, I think you have a couple words to say, please. Irina Kasanovich, Economic Development, was pointed out today during our ribbon cutting over at Town Hall Commons as being a big person in responsibility of getting our downtown. Yay, Irina.
Thank you,
And don't ask me
Mayor.
to spell our name.
Good evening, Mayor and the members of the council.
The applicant for the downtown development investment grant has asked the staff and you to please allow him more time to look into the agreement and to continue public hearing to January 21st meeting 2020.
Right. Any questions for Irene at this point? No. Okay, thank you. Thank you. At this point in time, we will open the public hearing. No one has signed up, so instead of closing it, we will look for a motion to continue.
Motion to continue public hearing to the January 21st, 2020 council meeting.
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 7B, public hearing, Green Oaks Tech Center, Oakview Innovation Park Development Agreement, and that would be John Schifano, our town attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to allow Irina to tee this up and kick it off a little bit because she was the I don't want to say
Instrumental.
child, but brainchild on this agreement.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Hello again.
Hello again.
So the purpose of this public hearing is to hold a public hearing and receive comment on the proposed development agreement between the Helix Trust Bell Group and the town for the development of the Oakview Green Oaks Tech Center sewer line. And the action is to consider ordinance 19-12 approving development agreement. So I will just, through these next few slides, I want to highlight how this agreement benefits the town. So the bottom line is adding the sewer line, as it seems to be one of the last remaining pieces of the puzzle that will increase the competitive edge and the marketability of the site. So this is our development activity map, and the site that we're talking about is in the red box, Oakview and Innovation Park. To zoom it in a little bit more, as you can see on the map, to orient you, as you know, the site is located on the western side of the town, adjacent to the Holly Springs Business Park, and Securus is one of our largest employers in town. Green Oaks Tech Center is the 60-acre site, as well as the Oakview Innovation Park is the 140-acre site. These large tracts of land, especially under single ownership, are very attractive and very valuable commodity for attracting industrial clients, especially in the urban county as Wake County. And you know that Wake County as well as Holly Springs are focusing on the key target industries, and those are life sciences, advanced manufacturing, IT and fintech, as well as clean technologies and smart grid. So about 10 years ago, when Novartis, today Securus, got recruited to Holly Springs, the town at the time has built a pump station that is located on the south end of the site. And this pump station was strategically oversized so we can look in the future to attract more medium and large size businesses in this basin, in this area. So since then, the town has worked with the Duke Energy, that was the original owner of the Oakview Innovation Park, as well as the multiple property owners of the Green Oaks Tech Center, to rezone this site from residential to research technology. Also in 2016, we have certified Oakview Innovation Park through North Carolina State Economic Development Partnership, their program of the certified sites, which means that property has undergone a series of tests, including environmental assessments, and all of this really just to confirm that this site is suitable for development. As well, one of the steps that we approached was we put all of these 200 acres under single ownership, which will happen with, this agreement. What I want to show you with this site is that this teal triangle represents the additional acreage that will be added and rezoned from residential to research and technology, which is in line with the council's strategic goal of enhancing the non-residential tax base. it will also open up the road frontage to provide easier access to the site. Kind of I really hit on all of those high benefits for the town with this agreement, but I just want to close with really saying that what this will provide is it will increase our competitive edge, will increase the site readiness, provide better product to potential clients, ensure speed to market, and eliminate any uncertainty for businesses looking to invest in Holly Springs and bring those quality jobs to our community. Now I'll turn to John to kind of just go for a few details that encompasses our process.
Thank you. And Mr. Mayor, members of council, this agreement is both a reimbursement agreement and a land use tool. And the land use tool portion of it, Irina, I don't know if you could flip back a slide, but it, okay, 2 slides, sorry. Yeah.
You only said one.
Correct. The current land use requires that purple area to be RT. It's currently zoned for RT. The developer has asked that the purple area be designated and rezoned at a later date a mixed-use commercial district to provide sort of office, retail, restaurant, convenience type things for the business park at that corner. And in exchange for doing that, the teal triangle would come into the green RT district. So in a sense, it would be swapping. The teal right now is low density residential, and that would switch to RT and become incorporated into the business park, the Grand Tech Center, Innovation Park. The statutes allow us to enter into this contract to allow for a long development time, and it really solidifies with both the landowner and the town these land use designations for a long time. You have the authority to rezone things, irrespective of what a landowner wants ordinarily. This would remove that authority from you by contract for a period of 25 years. So while it's being built out, the developer gets the certainty that it will develop in the manner that we're speaking of. So that's point number 1 to the agreement. And I don't know if you can go back to that table. I mean, I'm sorry. The first point is basically a 12.5 acre swap for to go to mixed use commercial and then to bring in that triangular terrace tract parcel. In exchange for that, the developer has agreed to hold 2 parcels out for Irina and the Economic Development Department to use as a recruitment method for employment center areas. And that's the thought there is that it will be designated for large single-use users, much like Rovisis and Novartis in the park now. So the developer has also agreed to, after your last workshop, has agreed to an extension of 1 year from the 3-year holding period in the event that we have what we like to call a big fish on the hook, and they're just ready to going through their due diligence. So the developer would hold that for us to be able to not otherwise subdivide or make other use of that 30 and 50 acres. So that was a concession the developer had made after the comment came out at your last workshop on this agreement. And what that does is to that third line, it's great that they're holding a 50 acre tract and a 30 acre tract for us to use in our economic development recruitment efforts. But if when we present them a buyer, they say, well, the price is now astronomical. Another thing this agreement does is set an agreement that we will agree to sell and purchase on at an appraised value price. The prospective purchaser, this economic development contractor, would get an appraisal. The developer could get an appraisal if he doesn't agree with it, and then there's a mechanism where you can get a third, and then come up with a fair market price at that point. So the developer is agreeing to sell it at fair market value, and we are agreeing on behalf of somebody that we don't know yet who that is. We're agreeing that if they purchase it, they'll do it based on an appraised value and not just a number out of a hat. And then the last bullet, probably the most important one, is that the developer is going to design, construct, and install what will be a major sewer outfall. And it will open up that basin, as Irina has discussed, for more development. And I don't know if you feel like going back to another map, Irina. Will also help to serve the area across Green Oaks Parkway with sewer service when it's installed. That the green area that sort of all flows down the draw that the sewer line would go. So the town has budgeted $500,000 for this, which will be a fraction, not more than half, probably a third of the cost of the sewer improvements. And the town has budgeted that money previously, and that's already on the books. But that would be in a reimbursement form from the developer, and that's the nuts and bolts of this agreement.
I think we have all had the opportunity to look at this issue more than once. But at this point in time, is there anything that you want to ask either the counselor or Irina that's not being covered?
I have a question. I know
Sure.
you were exchanging emails around the transportation improvements, and I just want clarity on the town shall cooperate in approving curb cuts, additional infrastructure, and interior road configuration. That part, so are we just giving resources? We're not paying any money? Like, I just want,
That's right. There'll be no money. Typically, depending on how big of a fish the big fish is with economic development, the Department of Transportation oftentimes will give funds, and they will require the town to act as a pass-through. That's happening with Lowe's Home Improvement right now. It's a $300,000 pass-through. So the agreement, just when we talk about cooperation, those are the types of cooperation we're talking about. It's very clear with the developer and an agreement that the town is not funding any transportation improvements for the developer, but we're not going to hold up any road permits, driveway cuts, that type of thing, to give certainty to the development process.
and then Randy, in terms of staff, because we want to make sure this project's successful, what are we envisioning in terms of, are we assisting project management support or a one point of contact or somewhat like what we did for Town Hall Commons? We made sure that was successful. Are we doing anything here for this project?
Yes, I may ask Ms. Kristanovich to comment a bit more, but I think is your question, Councilmember, what will we do in terms of helping that continued facilitation? It'll primarily be on the economic development side in terms of working with potential site selectors and other groups who are looking at these locations, and then coordination with the Trustwell Development Group. And would you like to comment a little more?
So as they submit the development plan for the sewer line, that will be reviewed and inspected by our engineering department. So it will come through the town as, it will be looked at as one of our projects. So that's from that standpoint of the permitting through the process. When it comes to working with the clients, we will definitely work so the timing is right. I think just to put the wheels in motion with this agreement, and when we talk about that uncertainty and marketability of the site, when we talk to the clients, and as you know, for your information, this was the most shown site in the last 2 years in Wake County, so it's a very attractive piece of property. This is probably one of the last pieces of the puzzle that's really missing to have the really attractive site. We will be working on their timing and making sure that this line is delivered, by the time the client needs it.
Yep. Any other questions?
Counselor, one clarification, should the sewer fail to be constructed, the permit or the design becomes the town's property then?
That's correct. Yeah, if for some reason we get to, they're entitled to $100,000 once the design is done. So if they don't go forward with the construction for some reason, then we would own the design and we could construct it.
Anything else?
Just a comment, Mr. Mayor. You know, I think generally speaking, in principle, I'm not supportive of agreements that provide by right zoning ahead of a public hearing, especially when we don't know the use and the ultimate tenant. But this agreement does support a number of elements in our comprehensive plan and strategic plan for systematic development of the business park, which is a unique area that we have in town. Increasing the non-residential tax base, one of our strategic goals. The property will then be annexed into town limits, which is a good thing for our tax base, and then extending the town utilities to those properties, which is a revenue source for us, also a good thing. You know, so in principle, I think residential, we've seen some hiccups with the residential use of these agreements, but I think from a non-residential standpoint, I think this agreement is doing what we want it to do in order to further our plan.
Thank you. Anything else? If not, we're going to open the public hearing. No one has signed up. Did anybody get in here too late that wanted to sign up? We don't normally do this, but if not, we'll open and close public hearing and go to the suggested motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the ordinance 19-12 to enter into development agreement with the Helix Trust Well and to reimburse the developer up to $500,000 from sewer reserves for the installation of a sewer main.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item and Lee later on. We'll be right there. I do want to recognize our town clerk. She has done a lot to assist in this project, and it's kind of a fun thing. It's a bittersweet. We say hello and goodbye. However, I'm sure we will continue to say hello. And I have a few choice words. They're all nice. Tom O'Brien was first elected in 2015. He served as mayor pro tem since December 2017. He's a strong supporter of youth athletics. He has coached football and other sports, agreeing to coach the 7- and 8-year-old teams even before he moved here. Is that correct? Whew, man. He served on the Park and Rec Committee, the Transit Review Committee, and the Sug Farm Committee. He was active in helping develop the village district and support small businesses. Active in the community, he serves on the board for Make Smile Foundation. He worked with the MLK Golf Tournament and at the same time coaches many sports. He worked with others here, the state and county officials, and particularly the County Board of Commissioners, to assist in mitigating the odor problems we have at the landfill, which is an ongoing opportunity. Congratulations and thank you for your service, Mr. Tom O'Brien. Oh, wait.
We know you have a strong heart, Parks and Recreation.
And we spared no expense. None. Yeah, go ahead. Other way. Picture Bastley. I painted that myself. So you bridge. There's something else. The man who's in charge of picking up leaves is a very good friend of mine, Muncie. Of course. I have one suggestion. Don't put it up on one of the street signs that you can put up your house. And you'd like to say a few words. Of course you do. And this is my words you can take with you home, and I revere it forever. You're on, partner.
I'm not
I'm going to angle it this way. So, it has been an honor and privilege to serve the community for the last 4 years. I moved here in 2006 and never would thought that we would see a hospital in Holly Springs, let alone we could get a store that's local. And the town has done so much in the last 4 years. The hospital, our downtown is now developed as a destination point for our residents to come, gather, eat, shop. Town Hall Commons, the block, Moments in Time, and these folks will continue to make downtown stronger for the residents of Holly Springs. To our police and fire department, who have been exceptional, as we are one of the safest places to live and will continue that. They continue to get accolades, and that doesn't happen overnight. That's hard work, and I truly appreciate our police and fire department. For our staff, we have over 300 plus employees. They work day in and day out. There's one individual that I want to recognize, and I should have told her to come here tonight, but it kind of exemplifies what the staff brings to the table. There's a lady by the name of Deborah Mann, who I've known for 4 years here, who has been with the town of Holly Springs for over 20 plus years. There was a time not too long ago, there was a project she had to do, and I had asked her, "Why are you here so late?" "No, Tom, I had to get it done." I said, "Well, there's tomorrow. There's always tomorrow." And I said to her, I said, "You're going to work longer hours," and she doesn't get paid. There's no overtime. There's no extra pay for that type of job that she does. But she does it because she loves the town. She has the passion and the drive for what she does and brings to the residents of Holly Springs. And like I said, that exemplifies what the staff is all about. All the stuff that's done behind the scenes, the picking up the garbage, the water. These people, when I call on them for questions and issues that I need help with, there's not a situation where they say, "Tom, I'm going to put you off." It's, "Mr. O'Brien, I'm going to get you the answers for that." And I thank you for that, because without the staff, we're not successful as a town. For Councilman Berry, Councilwoman Lee, who could not be here tonight, she is trapped in a snowstorm in Boston. For Councilman Billotson and Councilwoman Kelly, thank you to you and your wives, your spouses, for being positive, professional, and respectful to me and my family and my wife. I truly appreciate that. Your integrity is impeccable, and I do appreciate that. We do. We can go on and on about all the accolades in the town. The folks that'll be coming up tonight, I'm actually excited because I'm going to get 2 nights back the course of the week. But thank you when you voted for me back in 2015 to give me the trust and the encouragement. And I think I've done a pretty good job for the last 4 years. That's all I have. I want to wish your families a very happy holiday and Christmas. God bless, and good night. Thank you.
Suggest we stand up for applause. Good job, Tom. Take care. Enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Tom's family.
Okay. Go on. Going on to agenda item 8B, which is the oath of office. Miss Linda McKinney will be our town clerk doing the oath of office, and I would like to call, shall we call Sean first? I think he was on the list. Sean McGrath, and do me a favor, announce who you have with you tonight, too. Hi, Lori. You can come up, too. Matter of fact, you can hold the, if I may so suggest. And Aaron, when it comes to you, you've got as much time as you want to introduce who you'd like to do.
It is my honor and privilege tonight to administer the oath of office to our incoming council members. This is according to the North Carolina Constitution, Article 6, Section 7. All public officials in the state of North Carolina must swear to this oath.
I, Sean McGrath, do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States, the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as a council member of the town of Holly Springs, North Carolina. So help me God.
Tamara, did you get a good picture? Okay. By the way, I have one major disappointment with you tonight. No F-16s flying over? No. It's an internal thing, you know. And next, of course, would be Aaron Wolf and his lovely family. Oh, yeah, you're supposed to come up
You're
now.
on the job, Sean. Come on.
My problem. Everybody. Aaron, would you take the time to introduce him, if you please?
My wife, Jeff.
Hi.
This is my son, Jude. My daughter, Ella.
She's already banged the cat.
My father, Mike, and my mother.
Welcome.
I, Aaron Wolf, do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as a council member of the town of Holly Springs, North Carolina. So help me God.
Welcome, Doctor. We have a seat for you. We'll wait for a minute.
Ooh, it's comfy.
Those are expensive chairs, just like the gifts we just gave out. Okay. Agenda item 8C is the election of Mayor Pro Tem, and I want to make a very interesting comment to me anyway. In the past, we've always asked for nominations, and then we voted. Sometimes we had one, sometimes we had two, sometimes I can remember we had 3 or 4. This council, with certainly my endorsement, has decided that they are going to do all this before the meeting. We're going to have the nominations already approved, and they will vote up or down, but I think better be up because that's what we decided on, for everybody you're going to hear at this point. So normally I would say the nominations for Mayor Pro Tem, but the Mayor Pro Tem has been nominated, and that would be, go ahead, somebody make that nomination.
I nominate Dan Barry for Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have a new Mayor Pro Tem, Dan Barry. Let's give him a hand. I feel like come on down, come on down. Congratulations, Dan. Now, we'll follow the same rules here. Our agenda item 8D, that's the appointment of Holly Springs representatives. And again, the nominations have been made, and I believe the votes on consensus have been made. And that's what I think personally I'm very proud of is part of my job, doesn't say it in the book, is to gain consensus from the council. I don't always do that quite well, but I try hard. And I didn't have to try very hard. We had a lot of phone calls, a lot of discussions back and forth. Did we not? Everybody had their opportunity. We made a couple of changes at the last minute, but I'm going to read the nominations, and then somebody can second that. For Triangle J, a government board member, Sean McGrath, with the alternate Aaron Wolf. The TAC Transportation Committee, Dick Sears. I've done that for 18 years, and thank you for allowing me to do it again. And Sean McGrath as alternate. Holly Springs Park and Rec Advisory Committee, that'd be Pete Millison, with the alternate Christine Kelly. Holly Springs Technical Review Committee, that would be Christine Kelly and Dan Barry would be the alternate. Civic Nonprofit Grants Committee, that would be, there are 2 of them, excuse me. That'd be Dan Barry and Aaron Wolf. That's a double committee. The Transit Planning Advisory Committee, Sean McGrath and alternate Dan Barry. And the Tree Advisory Committee, that would be Aaron Wolf with alternate Christine Kelly. And I believe that's everybody. Do I hear any objections? Does somebody want to second that nomination?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's all. Let's give them a hand for working so hard to get this done. And now, our first item is the agenda item 8E, adopt a calendar year. These are really exciting. Adopt the calendar year 2020 meeting schedule. Town Clerk, Linda McKinney.
Town Council holds their business meetings on the first and third Tuesday of each month, and workshops at 6 p.m. on the second Tuesday of each month. And the official calendar is adopted at this meeting. By adopting the official calendar, you have the opportunity to consider in advance any conflicts that the regular meeting schedule may have with events or holidays, and make changes to times and dates accordingly. I would recommend that the first Tuesday meeting in July 7th, be canceled due to the Independence Day holiday, and the first Tuesday meeting in August, the 4th, and the August workshop meeting, August 11th, be canceled as a reduced summer schedule as we have done in the past.
Any questions? Comments at this point? We can do more later too if we have to. All right. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve the calendar year 2020 regular meeting schedule as amended.
Second.
Motion made and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. At this point in time, we'll go to other business, and I just have my typical crosswalk safety. Again, please, 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 if you're walking across your crosswalk, don't stand too far away from the road, because what happens is, if you're staying too far away, then I'm going to slow down. I learned that myself the hard way. I didn't get hit, but point being, stand by the road. If you have one of the push buttons that turns the lights on, terrific. I hope we can have more of those in the future, because I think it's the right thing to do. And there's still more studies to do on that. Speeding issues, yes. Every town, and it sounds like an excuse, it is not. Every town, every mayor, and I'm glad we're working now with the chief of police to get more mitigation items or thoughts together. Speeding is a problem everywhere. And it's too bad. Speeding is up here, not out there. That's my opinion. With that, others. Anybody else?
I just wanted to say how exciting it is to see the light coming up at Valentine in Main Street. And
Oh, yeah.
that's,
Oh, yeah.
and the sidewalk being fixed on that corner, so that's great. I think that will make a big difference downtown. And then I have a request, Mr. Harrington, can you expand on the latest information you received from the landfill so our residents can hear that? And also expand on the traffic calming work that I know Aaron has been proposing.
Sure, yeah, there would be two components related to the landfill. These are items that I understand from John Roberson, who's the Wake County Solid Waste Management Director. And there are two areas that they've been working on particularly lately. One is a different way of applying some type of a foam type system over the refuse as a pilot project to see how that application mitigates odor. So they'll be doing that over the next 60 to 90 days. Throughout that, they'll be doing some adjustments with the application to see what might work best in mitigating odor. So I expect to get some reports back from Mr. Roberson on that particular component. And the second piece, which is one that the council has been talking about for some time now, is around an app that makes it simpler for residents to document and communicate times and locations where odor is being experienced. And so, as I understand again from Mr. Roberson, that we're doing some final troubleshooting and some final application of that, and the software system that should be up here in December. We'll give you some little bit more information on that. That would be for iPhone as well as Android devices. So I think it's a pretty positive component. So they are working hard, those two particular pieces, and we'll continue to provide updates on that.
Thank you.
I think you had a second comment around the traffic calming. Yeah, so, and maybe primarily for the public's benefit, at your last workshop, you had a conversation around updating the neighborhood traffic calming policy. At that opportunity, we did share some ideas and some examples of possible tools that could be used. At this point, and we got a little bit of your feedback, staff will be progressing over the next couple of months to fine-tune and finalize what components, from a staff perspective, we would present to you as what we think might be appropriate options or tools. And then, of course, get the public's input and your input in terms of what you think is most appropriate. So that will be coming back for further comment and consideration.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a comment?
Just congratulations to Councilman Wolf and Councilman McGrath. Look forward to getting to work. Welcome aboard.
I think the words right out of my mouth.
I would just like to say it's the first time I've heard the mayor's crosswalk safety speech from this perspective, and it's like I'm hearing it for the first time, so I really appreciate that. And I'd just like to say thank you to everybody for the warm welcome, but I specifically wanted to call out Linda, Randy, and John, as well as Daniel and Scott, who have gone above and beyond to make sure that we could hit the ground running. And with their help and the help of all the staff, I think I'm really excited about working with this group, and I think we can do great things.
I agree. Anybody else? All set? Let's go back to the manager's report.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Two items. First, just to echo those similar comments, congratulations to the two new council members. Very much look forward to working with you both, and as well the whole entire council for another great term ahead, and I'm really excited about that, so I look forward to that. The last item, just a reminder to the public, we do have a couple of major events coming up here, the Happy Holidays tree lighting on Friday evening, December 13th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Cultural Center. And then the following day, we have our parade, which will be at 11 a.m. here on Main Street. And that's always a fun time. Look forward to have the community out and all of you there as well. So that's all I have for that.
Thank you. By the way, the Christmas tree landed today, is being put up. Last year, we had the kids go, were anybody here that was here last year for the tree? Anybody here? I gotta be. I usually have that wonderful opportunity, and I had the kids go 3, 2, 1, tree. You remember that?
I have a video of it.
Yeah.
Would you
So
like
I
to
went-
see it again?
I went 3, 2, 1, nothing. 3, 2, 1, nothing. Adam Hoffman, who's about 8 foot tall, took the clicker and went out in the audience because there was a huge lot of people there. And he said, 3, 2, 1, and he clicked it, and the lights came on. We've solved that problem for this year. So when you get to 3, 2, 1, we know that thing is going on. Okay, just like that. Counselor, closed session?
Nothing that can't wait till next meeting, where we'll go over the secret handshake for the new members.
Very good. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks for.